Are y'all ready for the next pattern in our holiday-themed Name the Fly streamer series? I am, because these things can be a lot of fun. Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm Matt, thanks for stopping by. So we've done 2 of these things so far. Some of you might recall, on New Year's Day we came up with this crazy looking pattern, and the winning entry was the Electric Pickle by Jeremy Pegg. And on Valentine's Day we had this guy. The winning name for that one was the Cupid's Arrow. So now we're up to St. Patrick's Day. Now my strategy for this one was, well, I really didn't have a strategy. I just laid out everything I had green on my desk, started going through it and playing around. I tried some green hackle feathers, some peacock sword, a little bit of green flash. In the end, I kind of chickened out and just went with a green bucktail. But I did make one last second adjustment. I changed from a silver Mylar tinsel body to a green floss. So let me know in a comment if you think that was the right choice. Would it look better with a flat silver Mylar tinsel or the green floss? Okay, now the fun part of this video, the Name the Fly contest. So how we do that, just watch it. Leave a comment with what you think we should call this thing. But heads up, I can see it now. A lot of y'all are going to think we should call this thing the Leprechaun. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's a great name. But if you're watching this a couple days after it's been published, about 30 people will have probably already said that, and I'm going to have to reply to your comment and say, hey, Joe already said the Leprechaun, sorry. So just try again. Try to come up with something unique. And I'm going to let this run over the weekend. When I get back from my farm on Monday night, I'll pick the top 4 or 5 names and put it up for a vote. And then I'll send a $25 gift card to Jay Stockert to whoever came up with the winning name. So today's fly, nothing really tricky about it. The biggest lesson you might take away from this is get out there and experiment, play around, have fun. That's why we do this. And that's what I try to do with this pattern. Let's give it a shot. All right, there we go in the vise. My first attempt at this crazy St. Patrick's Day streamer. But you see that body? I'm not really digging that body. I think that's just a bit too clunky. So let's mix it up this time. I'm gonna go with a floss. We'll try that out. First off, let's pinch our barb right here. This is size 6, 7 extra long streamer hook. And it's got a little bend in it, but we're gonna make it work. And I'm gonna put some black thread on. I'll take it back to the start of the bend. Now we do need a little bit of yellow in this thing. If we're thinking a St. Patrick's Day theme, you know, pot of gold kind of idea, I'm going to use a little slip of yellow duck right here. Just do 2 medium wraps and make sure we're situated on top like we want. Okay, that's going to be fine right there. Now a few tight wraps going forward. And I'm going to snip this off. And I am going to take my thread up here and catch in a rib up front. And I'm going to go with a size 14 Mylar tinsel. I want the silver side to be seen, so we'll catch it in with the silver side toward the hook. And the reason I'm catching it in up front is I'm trying to minimize having a big lump at the back here. Probably not a real big deal because we're going to have a floss body, and floss you can kind of hide lumps a little bit more so than you can with, you know, a flat tinsel body like we did on that first attempt. But that is going to be a fairly flat body, so I'm going to do the same thing with my catching in my floss. And another reason I want to do floss is, you know, St. Patrick's Day. That last fly we tied, the only green in it was the bucktail. That just wasn't enough green. So we're going to do a green body. And I'm going to do the same thing I did with that tinsel. Just try to keep this parallel as I go back. Okay, take a look at that body. It's pretty smooth. And I'm going to, I think I can get away, this is a dark tinsel, I think I can get away with 1 layer. We'll see. I'm going to leave my thread about halfway because by the time I get there, this floss will probably start spreading out on me. And I want to try and avoid that. But what you can do while you're wrapping it up, and these wraps are going a little bit over each other, you can just kind of give it a clockwise spin every wrap or two, but just go ahead and try to get a smooth body all the way up to the head. Okay, now let's catch this off. And you got to think, is that going to be a thick enough body? Well, it's certainly very thin. If you wanted to, you could have built some bulk underneath it, either with thread or maybe a rib, or just done a couple of layers of that floss. I'm going to leave that right there and go ahead and counter wrap this rib. We'll see how it looks. Now the next thing I'm going to catch in, it's the first part of this wing. And this is a pretty elegant looking fly so far, but I'm about to mess that up. Look at this. This is coyote tail. And I will do this on a lot of my bucktails. This is some pretty cool stuff. It's got an awful lot of underfur, even the tail. See that right there? That makes a good dubbing blend. And you can't really stack this, so I'm just thinning it out with my hands. And any of these really long ones, I'll just pull them out one at a time right here. And why I like doing this is the bucktail I'm going to put on top, it is smooth and straight, and this will just give it a little contrast. So what I'm going to do here, let's go back just a little bit, not too far, because I don't want a huge head on this thing, but I'm going to catch it in, just a little pinch wrap, and two, make sure I'm still coming off the top. Now I can put a tight wrap, and I'm going to put a wrap underneath it, really to just try to keep it from spinning around the hook. It might prop it up a little bit, but that's okay. By the time we're done, that thing's going to be way down and, you know, covering almost the sides of the hook. Spend a few thread wraps right here, just smoothing this out before we catch in our next piece. I need to clockwise spin my thread, tighten it up a little bit, and I am going to put a little wax on it. So the next thing I want to catch in is just some bright green bucktail, and I will put this in my stacker. Okay, let's see if this stacked okay. Maybe got a little bit of leftover in there. And this one, if I can, I want to catch it in just a little bit longer than that coyote. Maybe right there. I think that's going to work. And this, I do like to do the trick where I put a wrap just around the bucktail, and then my second wrap will be around the bucktail and the hook, and that's a medium tight wrap right there. See how that's kind of pushing it down and pushing that coyote down. It's actually what I want. So I'm not going to put any tight wraps yet. Maybe another one going forward, and now I can put some tight wraps in that green bucktail. If it flares up front, no big deal. What I'm trying to avoid is having it flare on the back. I don't want the back of the wing getting too high. Alright, looks like I'm starting to crowd my eye a little bit there, and that's because I am. Let's just push that up with our thumb. I think we can recover from that with just a few thread wraps right behind the eye, and then build a little ramp right here. Now we could just whip finish this, clean up that head a little bit more, and call it done. We have a perfectly cool and fishable fly. But I think it's still just a little bit boring, so I'm going to spice it up with one more component. So here's where I'm going to do something a little bit unconventional. I'm going to use a cheek, feather cheek. Usually you don't see these on bucktails, you see these feather cheeks on featherwing streamers. But who's to say you can't do this? I think it'll look pretty cool if we can pull it off. So I'm going to do, this is Guinea. And I'm just catching it on the side, and it's not really going to overpower it because it's a little bit translucent. See that? But I do need to put some pretty tight wraps in right here, and then let's snip this off. See, that one's already starting to spin around on me. That's what I'm trying to avoid. So let's back that up and then try to get it straight in there again. Okay. Now I can snip this stem off, and hopefully it'll stay put on me. I like it where it is right now. We'll see if it stays. Let's catch in one on this side. Okay, I think that'll work. All we need to do now is clean up her head. Got a little bit of that green bucktail showing out there. I can either, burn that or just try to bury it and make a bigger head. So let's just try and bury it real quick and see if that'll work. I think we got enough of it done. Let's go ahead and wet finish it. So there we go. Kind of unconventional looking little St. Patrick's Day themed streamer. But it was pretty fun to tie. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Now y'all take care and we'll see you next time.